And sorry about that, guys. The volume was off. Jeez Louise. Got some good news. I'll tell you about it in just a second. Let me get the iPad set up. So weird that I forgot to do this. Talking to myself is what I was doing. And I'm probably the only one here anyway. So we are going to take a look at some Omnisphere sound design, see what we can do with designing our own presets. That's the plan, right? So we're going to start on an init patch. Okay, cool. That's the plan. That's where we're going. This is going to be a little slow because I'm not used to sound designing, but we're going to try it. All right. So the cool news is I did get myself a new item, which I will show you whenever it gets here. Um, it is a piece of hardware and it's one that I really been wanting. So you probably know if you follow me, but you'll see. And then we just hope for the best that I enjoy it. If not, then yeah, we'll go from there. I know I will because I use this particular software so much that having the hardware version, a smaller version of it, is going to be cool. Okay, so let's go. So let's see, what do we want to build? That is the key, knowing what you want initially. So I do want and like pads. So let's see if we can start today with just building a pad. So we're gonna use now we can use samples or we can use synth. I don't have any samples to drop in here, but well, then again, let me retract that. Maybe I do. So let's start with a sample actually, since I said that. And I believe if I'm not mistaken, we can just pull from a sample from inside of Omnisphere. I mean not Omnisphere, inside of my drums here. I think I might have something with keys in here. Perhaps we could go with I have these packs of these one shots. Cymatics puts out some stuff that I could use. So I might go into the Cymatics. Let me see. I'm gonna move. Let me see if I can shrink this a little bit. Not sure if I can. We'll just have to move it aside just so you guys can see where I'm looking at. So there's these samples in here. One shots. Here we go. Now these are leads, or that's what they call those. Keys, pads, plugs. So we're gonna start with this one. Only supports dropping in files, audio, and wave. Ooh, what kind of files are these? Not sure. Hmm. I can't say. Hold on, I can hear myself on this other thing here. I can't say I know what kind of files these are. Let me just try a different one. Nope. So they're not wave files, whatever they are. We're gonna have to find something with wave files. I do not want to have to go in and fix this stuff. I do have some stuff on my iPad, so I'm trying to see if I can figure out where it's at, though. I can't remember because at least they would be already set to the key of C, right? So then I don't have to go and redo them. I was trying to think, what is that called? Hmm. Here we go. CS80 presets one shots. I got these off of Gumroad. I can't remember the guy that does them. He did them for Koala. So we'll use something like this. Oh, I guess it doesn't work still. Maybe I have to go into the user section in here to do it. Mind you, I'm new, so this is going to be like a guy who's never done this before is trying to. Oh, here's the resize button. Let's resize that a little bit smaller. Yeah, so we can make more room. Okay, so we're going to go into the directory, I would imagine, this directory. And we need to figure out where I can put some user audio samples is the question. View all directories. I'm fine with that. Switch to parts. Okay. Where do we put samples? User audio. Here we go. There we go. So there is our user audio. So let's see if we drag. There it is. So A12. So now we can use that in our file. So basically you could, in theory, drag. I don't know if you can drag a whole, let's see, drag and drop audio file. So it says files. I'm not sure if it's a whole file or just a single file. Obviously a single file works because you see it right there. So we're going to go back and now we should be able to, this file has no picture. I don't know how they link pictures to this stuff. Sound source zoom. Interesting. So you can go in and look at the sound source info. This is the info, so I don't know if you can. I've never seen this before. All right, so let's see if we can go back to where we were. Here we go. All right, so here we are on the sound. This is what it should sound like when I'm playing it. Yep. So that's a good start for it. Now we could go in and do some shaping. Let's see, FM. Here's the wave. Turn up the analog. We can turn on unison. We can use any of these in here to. This is a dual frequency shifter. Let's try it. That's interesting. I don't know what I'm doing there. Wave shaper. Let's try that. Well, this I understand. Bit crush. How much of it is in the mix? So we're going to put 50%. Mess with the filter. I guess there's some types here. I don't know what they are. What's up, Crazy Wabbit? Reducer. Oh, this is sample rate. Okay. And this is the audio path it takes. So I guess. Interesting. We could turn the granulator on. I don't really care for the granulator on this particular thing. Let's blend some sounds. I'm going to take the wave shaper. Let's take the wave shaper off. And we'll just rock with the wave. We could transpose, but I'm not going to even do that. I'm going to keep it simple. Let's go into the next one, which is going to be a synth. Synth oscillator. And let's look at some warm oscillators in here. See what we come up with. CS. I'm not going to lie. This is where not knowing what in the world I'm doing, it would be cool if you had some randomize on these screens to. Obviously, this is adjusting the shape. I can see that here. Now we have to put this one, if I'm not mistaken, in on the main. Let's see, because it's not on. So how do I turn it on? And I haven't even touched the filter yet. So let's see. Here we go. Down here we can blend the sounds. Ooh, Lord. Here we go. We're gonna put a filter on that thing. Here's all the filters. So let's see. I like a low pass filter. I don't know the difference in these. I do understand a basic. It's the cutoff, the resonator. How much of the sound is going to blend with the A? Yay, yeah, twice in a day, man. Sometimes you just got to go for it. What's up, Hero? Good to see you. Hero, did you see that vocoder mic drop? Let me turn the volume down here on this because it can get loud. All right, so let's go back to the filter over here. So we're using some type of French filter thing on there. Let's change this to a sauce. I really don't know the difference, to be honest with you. This is on the actual sample here. We could adjust the attack. This is the filter. Release. I'm not gonna mess with the mods. All right, let's go back to this cream. I don't care for this one as much, but it was the first one I grabbed. Let's see if we can soft pulse. Let's go analog warmth. You can modulate this stuff. Look, I'm new, so I'm just learning. It's, you got to target it, then you have to tell like where you want it to target. I do understand the basis of it, but because I haven't used this, never done this before. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I am going to mess with the wave shaper in this one just because. I guess when you touch here, you tell it which path you want this to shape. Because that's definitely on the filter versus that on the oscillator or the amp. I'm going to put it on the oscillator, the depth. How much of it is in the mix? Not a lot. Let's put some granular on this. Grains, let's see. This was supposed to be a pad, and I don't know where I ended up here, but doesn't sound like a pad at all, to be honest. I don't care for that. Let's see what this does. I have no clue what that's doing. Let's try some unison. Ooh, that's cool. I don't know where this is going, guys. All right, we'll turn that off. Go back to the wave. Shape it a little. Wow, you guys are chatting it up, and I'm missing all the good stuff. What is going on? Jacob Hack did a video. It's the vocoder thing. Music tool for a computer called Mic Drop. I've heard Mic Drop. I know what that is. This actually sounds cool for like a little synth bass. Maybe. Or it could be a lead. All right, let's see what else we can add. Let's go with another wave table. I definitely don't want that. Let's go with. See, I don't fully know what tables do what as far as that goes. So let's see a square. What does a square do? I do like the mini moog. Let's activate this one. I know you have to do that. So where is the. There we go. Now we can activate. Hey, you guys take a guess in the comments what I actually bought. And I'll tell you if it's true. That'll be fun. You're having trouble finding the strings and orchestral stuff like samples and okay. Let's look for it. Why not? Well, first of all, definitely use the search. I'm not tripping on this patch, by the way. I'm just saying definitely use the search. All right, let's go to switch to parts, select here. If you go to view all directories, depending on what you have, you should be able to figure out. You said strings, right? Or did you said strings and orchestral? Okay. So you should be able to find strings and just click on it. And then if I'm not mistaken, you can go to not multi. That's not what I meant to do. Switch part. if you click on, where was it? Here, the directory portion of it, you can browse better. And then you should be able to go down and find what you're looking for. The patches, I think the multis are here, but you want the parts. But my favorite thing to do is go like strings, and then it just pulls the strings up that you have. Now, if you're asking me to tell you where the actual samples are for it, that's going to be a little challenging. But you should be able to search and find most of this stuff. Why are we in multi? Switch to patches. Okay. Hit search, strings. Let's just pull up somebody's strings. I'm talking about, oh, in the oscillator section so I can, oh, well, here's an idea. Okay, I got an idea to help you. Hold on. Let me get out of this. Go back to patches. So let's say you go into, because you have Omnisphere. So let's say you go into Omnisphere, view directories. We'll just go all Omnisphere for now. Then let's say you go down the string. I'm just showing you a way to get there. Strings orchestry, right? So let's say you pick one of these. Then you can see what the sample is. You see what I'm saying? So here's the samples. So you can literally do this and then find the sample that you want by doing that way. At least you know what it's called, right? Cello, tender, mutes. So that way, if you want to make it, they're in samples somewhere. You got to look through the samples of it. So strings, cellos. I'm just going through a few of these. I need to turn that preview off. I love it, but I hate it because it lingers too long for me. But anyway, you get the point. You can go in here, sound source browser, and then find that particular sound source that way. So you can go strings, go into the patches, type in strings, find the samples that you want, or bring them up here if you want, even, right? Because you could just search for it right here. And then you should be able to find this particular sample. So let's go to initialize patch. It's fine. Okay, so we're here. So now we go to sample. And then you'll have to search for the strings. So these say string on them, or you could type in cello category. So this is the user stuff. We don't want the user directory. There's nothing in there for sure. Core sound sources. Here's your core sound sources right here. There you go. So switch the directory at top. You see this? Switch the directory to core sound sources. And then look over here. This is the strings right here that I was just showing you. So now you could just pull, let's say you want. Click that. And now it's in here. And you see I'm still, disregard this, I'm still on a default technically. And then you can just start building. So if you want to add this to it, now you got to turn that on. Let's change this over to, you got it? You got what I was showing you? So it's pretty easy to find. It's not too bad. Turn this down. Put an organ with it. There it is. So it's just that easy. Initialize the patch. Now we're in a blank patch where it's just the oscillators. Change it to sample. Go in, look up the core sound sources. And then you should have all of them here. And you can start searching through them. Like, should be able to go cello. Anything with the word cello will pop up. I don't know what that is. You want that sound, double click it. It's completed. It's in there now. See, there it is. And I just noticed this sound source edit over here because I had never seen this before because obviously I never built a sound before. But you can go in and see where the mics were placed and adjust the mic levels or how much of this mic is going to be in the layer. That's crazy, by the way. That is crazy. So this little icon right here is super helpful. And now you can put your granulator on this. Here's the sample right here. It's on speed. I'm gonna go position. Speed just there we go. That's what I wanted. I couldn't find this earlier. Smooth. Boom. There we go. We're moving somewhere now. I did something good today. Got something productive done. Initialize patch. Let's do it again. Practice makes perfect, right? So here's what we're looking at. Hit that minus to get back over here. Change this over to a sample. Click it. Search what you want. Let's do violin. There's all the violins that they have in this. Of course, you can bring your own user audio in too. Pretty simple. Mellotron. Here's a Mellotron violin. Double click. Let's do it again. Change it to core. And by the way, when you put core on, you should see all of these over here. This will make it a little bit easier to navigate towards what you want if you use the browser. However, you could choose to just search if that's what you prefer to do. Let's use the browser since we haven't done that. And I am going to pick Classic Choir. 1 second, fellas. Sorry, I had a package come and people been stealing packages, so I had to get that. All right. Unfortunately, something my wife bought got stole, but she is pissed too. Can't blame her. Let's try that one. So acquire with, and we could do some filtering on this. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Filtering, specialty filters. And And I haven't even put any effects on this thing, so we could go and start putting some effects, maybe some reverb. Maybe a little less of that. This is my saturation tape. Turn it down just a little bit. Now we're going to put the sub in. So this filter affects all of them, so keep that in mind, I believe. I'm not sure how to only affect one, but I know if your 4 parts that you have on this particular one are all on here, it's going to be affected by this filter. I do know that. So you have to put, if you want the filters to be different, you need to go and make a second slot up here. You have up to 8 to stack your sounds if you want them to be on different filters. That much I know. Now check this out. I'm going to show you something else that's pretty cool. Let's say you got this sound the way you want it, but you want to see what it could sound like some other way, then that's where the mutate would come in. So you could go mutate, and now you got a variation of what you created. This mutation sound better than what I made. There you go. And then of course you could put an arpeggio on there, aider on there if you want. These are common. If you just want one of these to only affect A, B, or C, then you need to use the A, B, or C or an auxiliary and send it through. But this is the stuff I put on here to affect everything. So let's put something on B. Let's put a filter of some sort. I don't know. We're just going to. I'm just messing around. Mutate that. Turn MPE on. This joint is never gonna end, is it? All right, so let's just go back. Initialize preset. Cool. All right, so you guys kind of get. I can show you some things that even if I don't know how to sound design, I know where typically you can find something to do it. I just don't have the skill level of knowing what sounds best with what to make certain things, and that's the challenge. Um, trying to figure that all out. So yeah, but view all directories. There we go. So yeah, but the other option, if you don't really want to do sound design, I've said this before, is just find a patch you love and make some mutations of it. That's really that's the way around it. If you don't want to, that's funny. They used the bow that I just was using, and then I love how they have their pictures on their sounds. I would love to do that, to be able to make a sound and put my own picture on it. I'm gonna have to use some chat. Now, this is a chat GPT thing that would work great where you figure out how to do all this stuff. Like, hey, I want to make a pad. What sounds in Omnisphere, or what uh um not samples, but what synth oscillators should I use to make a pad? So I'm actually going to use that at some point. I would do that on camera, but my chat GPT only works on my phone for some reason. I don't know if it's linked to a certain thing. I'm not sure how that works, but I may search that up, like describe the type of pad I want to make. How would I make that in Omnisphere 3? And then let it kind of help walk me through the steps. So that is something that I may do on another video. I just wanted to explore and try on this one. But you can study other people's work, right? And learn what they did. Like here, they used a basic 12 dB low pass. Okay. So I could do that. They modulating the pan, and looks like the LFO or something. Wait, no, the LFO is modulating the pan, which is here. It looks like it's sliding back and forth. I don't know if these are blue because they're modulated or what that means, but either way, the cutoff. Let me see when I press it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, you can kind of look here and get an idea for what they're doing. Slow attack, of course. Looks like this envelope is tied to the whole thing in the modulation, and this LFO. Oh, here's your LFOs. Okay. So you could have 8 LFOs, looks like. But theirs looks to me, let me see. Looks like they have 2 going or something. I may be confused on that, but these are the LFOs. Oh man, I need to check that out. Andrea Peg Pegrola. I am terrible with names. Let me write that down because Andrea creating sounds from. Did you get that book off of Amazon? I'm just curious. Because I'll be honest, if I don't go, I mean, I go to bookstores with my daughter and my wife sometimes, but bookstores are intimidating to me because while I enjoy reading certain things, I'm not a sit down and read a book type guy. So hopefully they have some pictures in that. Yes. Oh, Amazon. Okay, cool. That's even better. Then I can. But see how they mixed it? You get a kind of a glimpse of how they mixed the sounds. So study people's stuff. What effects did they use? Let's see. So they only used on the common. That's cool because that's easy to follow. It's only 4. And you can see they took the warm one off. So they're only using this really 3, I think, because this one's off. Chorus, echo, proverb, and the delay. Real simple. There's no arpeggiator going on. These sounds, this would be blue underneath here if this is activated. So in this, they're only using the wave, the wave, the wave. So it's three wave samples blended together. So if you have samples from something, this is a built-in sample from the Soundcore. See when I run my mouse across, it says Soundcore browser. It says Soundcore browser on all of them, but I believe, and I could be wrong, that these 3 sounds might be the. I know this one is Omnisphere. These all 3 might be in Omnisphere, just in case you're wondering. Because this preset pack was made with Omnisphere 2 something. I don't know which version, but I imagine these samples are somewhere in this browser. Let's pick another one. Ah, here we go. So here they used, I know they're using the ARP. You can tell it's on with the blue light underneath it. So here's the ARP. Here's their effects. They have one delay that's on this patch. And then the common ones that all runs through everything is right there. This one only is using a synth oscillator. And you can see which oscillator they use. They use unison and obviously the wave. Let's see what they did to the wave. Look at this. Absolutely nothing. Except for change the analog and drop the phase and drift. In unison. These are really small movements. They're not doing a crazy amount. They have a low pass filter UVI 2 on there. They changed the cutoff a little bit. Looks like under the macro mods, they'd use that. So this is based on this Moog modular sign with real simple stuff. This is from Luthrum, obviously. This is their user one. I think when you do user ones, they don't show a picture. I think. I could be wrong on that. But you notice how this user one doesn't have it and just says Pocket Watch? And they're using an arpeggiator to create this Pocket Watch sound. That's cool. JP 8000 warm. So this is a strings built into here, I believe, into Omnisphere. Abandon. This vocal bed. The effects on this B portion is this flame. On the C portion, this is what they're using. And then here's the common ones that runs everything. There's no aux, no arpeggiator. All right. So, I mean, I'm not a sound designer, but this is starting to look easier to me. The more you familiarize yourself with the actual UI and where everything is at, the easier it should be to create it. And there you go. Here's an LFO. This sound, they pitched this sound down 12 semitones. We're just taking a look. The wave, there's 4 things going on. So they're all, well, 2 of them are synth oscillators. Here's a mellotron flute and then a Nord lead sign. These are, so everything in here, I believe this one's in here too, are all built-in things from Omnisphere 3 that you can use to create. The effects, they have They have a couple effects on A, effect on B, one on D, and then nothing on the common, and they're not even using an ARP. So the LFO is affecting the pitch. I was trying to see if these LFOs vary per, but they seem to be all just one. It does have pictures. Okay, so you can put a picture on there. Okay, so hit the modulation button and it'll show you what the LFOs are doing. Oh, hit this button up here. Oh, nice. Thank you, Hero. I didn't even know that. Shows how much actual, you know, sound designing I'm doing. But here you go. So you now you know which LFO is to what. LFO 1, 3, 2. This is the wheel is the cutoff. Aftertouch is on the LFO depth. Okay. So then you know to go through which LFOs. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And then you can see what's going on down here. Cool. So if you're on the LFO, it looks like you can sync the LFO or let it go free. Note, legato, or song position. Interesting. Here's your depth button. So yeah. So looking at it like this, you'll never know what is going on. So again, thank you, Hero, for pointing that out. Just click on it and you can kind of see on the modulation at least, you can see where what is doing what. Yeah, underneath the Orban main. Yep. I sampled all the sounds from the Moog Messenger before I returned it. I'm gonna have to throw them samples into Omni. Absolutely. Yeah, if you didn't keep it, definitely do that. Hit the plus button. You mean the magnifying glass? Oh, okay. Yeah, the mod matrix. Nice. So this is probably easier to use, right? I'm assuming just go in here and just drop your source where you want it. Is this mod matrix per? No, I can see you can change which LFO. Okay. So LFO3, then you can do the wheel. This is way easier. Dang, you got 4 pages of this? Good gracious. They really, man, Spectrasonics really went out all out for this, didn't they? It's crazy. I didn't even realize it was that deep. I guess let me hit this one. Oh, okay. So you can really get intricate in the details when you click on those little magnify and filter zooms. That's really nice because, yeah, if you just see this front page, it's real basic looking. But now knowing that you can go in here, adjust the cutoff, how much of the offset is going to be there, and you still have your offset, your key portion here, and everything right here. Yeah, it is. It is fire. I mean, I've been sleeping on a lot of this because I don't design, so I didn't realize how detailed this is. And it looks like I was confused. So let me correct what I said. If you're on A, because look right here, he's using a dual juicy LPF. Click on B, he's using an LPF smooth. So they are different. They don't affect. I don't know why when I was on mine, it seemed like it was like affected by the same one, but it looks so different. So there's one. This one's different. Oh man, this is crazy. They just opened up so much more to mess with. I didn't even think about. So if you really want to know this, you got to spend some time with this. This is not like a jump right into it and you're going to be automatically creating type thing. If you feel like you want that, then use the mutate and let them help you. But if you want to get really detailed with stuff, then you start digging into these matrix parts and learning. I think I'm going to spend some time with that over the next week or so. I may not do one every day with it, but I may try to do a video or two where I just it may be live videos because my live videos tend to do better anyway. Um, where I'm just exploring Omnisphere and spending some time trying to figure out a way to make some sounds better. I don't know. But the fact that you can use samples, that alone for me is really good. I'll probably grab some more of my samples, throw them in here, and see what I can come up with. I'm thinking about taking samples like from Sample It, like say slice a sample that I normally would chop up or something, just slice a small section of a sample and throw it in and see what I can create. So, samplers, guys that love sampling, want to try something a little different? Chop a sample up, take a piece of that sample, throw it in the Omnisphere, manipulate it. See what you can come up, what you can make. You'll come up with some cool instruments that you can use in your songs. It might change your world. You never know. Again, explore and try things because that's how you learn, right? And it makes music fun. If you do the same thing every day, you might get good at doing it, but you also might get bored at doing it and be tired of it. So if you get into that point where you're a little sick of doing the same old thing and you got like something like Omnisphere or some instrument, explore the instrument and see what you can do with it. So much hidden beneath. I didn't even get into if you click on the system, you can change pitches of stuff. I mean, here's your modulation right here. You could, adjust stuff in here if you want to. I'm not going to get into the system adjustments because that's crazy. There is the multi view where you can switch. And by the way, you can have multiple instruments stacked with each other. In case you didn't know that. So if you go to the multi-view, they actually in this particular thing, or at least in this is showing. Let me switch. Let me open up. Let's go to. See on the channels, they have two channels going on. So like if you just looked at this one page, you would only see this, and you think, well, that's all that's happening here. But actually, there's a second page where they're running another instrument stack with that. So it's stacking and making these instruments sometimes is way more than you think. That's why they sound so good and rich. I'm new to sound design too, Hero. In fact, I would say I'm not even close to a sound designer because real sound designers don't are not like I am, like floored by every little thing. They probably know most of this basic stuff, and they just have to learn their whereabouts on this particular UI. But yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, you have sounds in your head. I have sounds in my head because sometimes people just make the sounds I like, and then I just be like, oh, but if this could be, so if I could learn some really good sound design techniques and tools, I could take what people make and shape it more to what I want to be, or I can make stuff from scratch. Yeah, getting it out of your head into paper is a whole nother. Well, you have to be able, I think that's where something like a chat GPT could help you because you could take what you know and want, prompt it, and ask for help on the best way or are different ways that you could do it. And then it's not that you do everything chat GPT says, but you could use their technique. Sometimes, like when I'm looking for a name of a song or when I'm looking for an idea, I can just prompt it in there and it'll give me something. And it may not be exactly what I want, but it can give me an idea to get me started. Right? It's just something to help you. It's kind of like somebody getting a sample. They're just using it as a starter, right, to get them going. So, just something to think about. Um, but yeah, man, this is crazy. Let's do this. Now that I've been discovering a few things, let's go to this pack. So I just switched, by the way, this particular sample with this preset, in case you didn't know that. You can switch the preset. So like if I want to keep these strings in here, this orchestral, but I want to try this Jupiter on here, I can do that. Then I can go here and throw in another one. Now I have 3, and you look in the multi and here they are. Go back to 1, turn on C because C's not on, or whatever, and you can build from there. So there's so many ways to do it. I'm not going to turn C on because I don't want to mess this up. But so now I have this one, and this one in the multi. So if you look here, A and B only apply to this one. Every time I switch, it's a different one. You can mute. Let me see. So Jupiter, the way they map this key out, for whatever reason, this exploring Jupiter is only playing on an upper, the upper keys for some reason. Look at the oscillator moving with the LFO. It's crazy. So then you have that going. For some reason, this one is not playing. Let me I don't know. It's getting crazy with this stack mode. So look how it's stacked. I'm going to pull Jupiter. Should be able to pull. Not sure why. You can put it where you want it. Stack mode. So I think if you turn stack mode off, which is cool, they're just playing all together. And then stack mode allows you to move these to where you want to put them. So doesn't matter where I put it now. It's still playing. So if I turn that off, it gets crazy, guys. I'm just saying it really does. Incredible. All right, let's clear multi. All right, and I think now we can start from scratch. Right, learn how to make a pad, bass, pluck from scratch. Those 4 are the one you're going to use the most with the synth anyway. I'm not worried about pianos and things like that because there's a million pianos that are good. I'm not going to try to make a piano that just, to me, that doesn't, for me purpose, my purpose, it doesn't make sense. That's what I'm trying to say. In that book I mentioned, there's a section that talks about reverse engineering, taking a sound you like and recreating it. It makes for good. Yeah, I've seen people do that too. I mean, it's no different than somebody learning like the guitar and want to cover another song. You learn some techniques within that song while you're covering the song, or piano, or whatever instrument you're using, and you're playing a cover song. You learn techniques. That's how I started learning, trying to play Prince music on guitar, and it's very difficult. You'll never play like him, but you can learn. I learned a lot of little techniques and things from doing that. course, now I don't even play that. When he died, I kind of stopped listening to his music because it changed it for some reason. Every now and then I pull it out and listen to it. Let's try to put in, let's go to the directories. I'm going to look at Tom Wolfe stuff since I love his stuff, but I never really know. These are some binaural pads that he made. I just want to see if I can explore what he did. So now that I know, I go here and I can see where he put his LFOs. Interesting. I can go here and see how he kind of shaped his filters and different things here. I'm going to use stuff like this to study and then create my own versions of it. And what's dope is that he did this with a synth oscillator. There is a sample in here. This is it right here. And obviously now I know you can put your pictures in. So there's that. If you click the zoom, you can see inside of what's going on with these, with this sound and the effects. I think this is some real deep stuff. Some of this stuff I'm not even sure how much I would use, but pretty cool. Here's his common stuff that he's using, the compressor. And then he didn't put anything. Oh, he has something on the aux, the immature and the proverb with the aux return turned up. So if you go to multi, he's only got one. So there's only one layer of stuff going on here. He's using the Fat Boy filter, by the way, on filter one. There's two filters here. I didn't even know that. See, this is, so there's these two warm filters. One's a 24 dB, one's 12. Interesting. He is using unison, which is probably why that sounds so spaced out a little bit on this. All right. He's using the granular on his actual wave. So here's his wave. Really cool. He has unison, I told you, over here. So it's cool how he's blending. Let's get out of here. This synth oscillator with this sample oscillator, and using those two together, and that's the sound you hear. Yeah, I'll be getting that book very soon because I like to, if it's something that really I want to learn, I'll sit and probably read it. You know, something else I learned about myself, I struggle reading um, subtitles on movies. So I was trying to watch this show and it had subtitles on certain parts and when he got to the subtitles, I was like, wait, I gotta rewind and figure out what he said. Cause I can't watch the body language at the same time and comprehend it. It's so weird. Especially like if it's in another language and I don't know the language at all. And then I'm trying to read the subtitle, but look at the emotion they're showing. It's really hard. So I don't know. It just may be me. I know some people like my wife can do it, but yeah, I'm just not that guy, I guess. All right, let's look at some more sounds. So, yeah, yeah, I am a little crazy. Synth, 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 synth. Oh, sample. Granulator, wave. We're just looking at the basics to get in our mind what he's doing. Wave unison, wave unison. So he's using three waves to blend them together, stacking those three waves. His modulation is right here. Very neat to see. Effects using the same common effects. He seems to use these common effects on the auxiliary. I got to learn why, but that's what I'm seeing. and he puts this as the I don't know, what does an imager do? I don't even know. I see pan here. Is an imager the same thing as a stereo widener? Is that what they mean by imager? I'm not sure what they mean by that. But it seems to be because this is panning, and I usually associate panning and stereo widener with the way the image sounds. And you can see right here it says mono, normal, or wide. So I'm thinking that's what that means. I'm not 100% sure. But we're learning, right? So this is part of learning is studying. Here's the way he mixed it as far as each one of these sounds together. And there's nothing on this one, which tells me, yeah. So there's nothing on those other ones. So it's not a multi. This is just one with some stack sounds. And in this case, a lot of stack synth oscillators. It's for stereo. Perfect. So that's exactly what it is. Then what I was saying was basically stereo widener. And I do love this on music. I play it on I have Cleve Grand's Haze. I use it on my regular instruments. I use it on woodwinds, everything, because I want the sound to be pushed a little bit wider. Well, I got to take this call. So I'm going to have to end the live here, but we'll talk about this some more a little later. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.